Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I am excited to be here today. It's new releases day, which means I have new budget sheets in my shop. So go check those out. My shop's name is Lisa's Faith Budget Plan in Etsy. There's a link in the description box below or off to the side or however they have the design now in YouTube, and depending on what platform you're watching on. But yeah, in the description box, just check it out. Click on the link and you should find my shop pretty easily. I am super excited about this. The design is so pretty. I love the reds and the hot cocoa and gifts collection that I have this past month for December, or the current month I should say. But these florals are just, oh my goodness, they're just gorgeous. The blues and the blushes and the pinks and the tans and all the different flowers and the colors with the pine cones. I'm calling them January florals or winter florals, depending on where you're looking in my store. But I think they are gorgeous. I am in love with this and I can't wait to get into January. They're already up in my shop as I put them up on the 1st of December and today is December 4th. So they're already up and available and I am super excited about this. I'm having a lot of fun designing and doing this. So these are my budget sheets. This is the calendar. It's a Sunday start calendar and I absolutely love them. So let's go on to the next one. Oh, before I go too far, each of my budget sheets come in 3 sizes. They come in 8.5 by 11, which is what this sheet of paper is, classic happy planner and with cut lines, and A5 size with cut lines. I do it with cut lines so you can cut it to the size you want. And I just put hash marks in the corners so you can just cut them. I think that works really well for people and stuff. So I might test out how to print in specific sizes for people that don't have the where you have to cut it out if you already have that paper size. But so far people are liking the fact that they can cut it out, and I like that too. So if you're interested in it not being cut lines and you want it to be those actual sizes, let me know if that is something you're interested in and I can test it out, and maybe you can help me test that out. So set up a few samples to send back and forth and as a product tester. That would be awesome. So anyways, but I'm super excited about the new pattern. I love the blues, the blushes, the pink, and everything. It just looks so nice. I am so happy with these. So that's the calendar. The next thing I have, let me put my sheets down off to the side, is the budget sheet. This is what I call my monthly budget. And these two also come in the A5 and classic happy planner, as well as this 8.5 by 11. So this is what I do have, and it's a 2-page, actually it's a 3-page listing. 3rd page is back here. So I have a 2-page monthly budget where you have the income over here and you get 6 income, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And then about 20 variable and 20 fixed expenses. And this is just for you to kind of set in your own way. If you have a lot of things that you have to put down, and depending on your budgeting style, depends on whether you need this many lines or not. And then because I gave the same number of variable and fixed, what was left over, I just made notes page. A little notes section down here so you can make notes on your budget. This is the only budget I have with that section, but then I also include, and this is one listing and you get all 3 sizes in every listing. You get a 2-page one and a 1-page one. So if you don't need all of that, still one price, you get all 3 pages, but this is the 1-page one where you get 10 variable, 10 fixed, and 4 income. And these are the colors for the month. And I think they just turned out gorgeous. Oh my goodness, so pretty. So I really do love this. I do really enjoy this. And I'm excited to get into it. Now, I typically do not use a variable or fixed expense separation for my budget. I just do bills and expenses. And I'll show you that one. It's a little bit different. Let's see if I can grab that sheet. There we go. So this is what I use. And I actually modify the sheet. I add more income for mine, but that's just because I like to break down my income specifically when I know what's going on, because my husband, the way he works and specific checks that he gets, he's retired Navy, so he gets a retirement check. He has a VA disability check. Sometimes he has VA education, and then he has every other Friday he gets paid at his regular job. So we have that, and then my son pays us rent. And what else is there? We've been getting child tax credit and things like that. So I always make sure I have like 10 lines for me, because I like to separate. And if I do a transfer from savings to checking, I also want to be able to put that information down here and just really track how we are spending money. So I call mine bills and expenses. So I list all my bills out from my calendar, because that's what I use my calendar for. I lay out all my bills on my calendar, and then I write them out here, what the budgeted amount is, and then what actually happened. And if I was over or under, I just kind of make a note. You don't really have to track it if you don't want to. Some people do, but you just make a note. And this is why I don't really need the variable and fixed. Yes, the variable means it's not the same every month, but sometimes my variable, most of the time, I say 99% of the time, variable is only off by, depending on the utility or whatever, it's only varied by a few dollars, unless it goes from extreme hot to extreme cold, or extreme cold to extreme hot. You know, that kind of thing, where you got your heat, natural gas, and electricity. So, and even then, I am pretty good with my budget that I can eat whatever the difference is. So it's not that big a deal. But anyway, I list all my bills, and then after all my bills are listed, then I write down my spending categories, which I have 4 of them. I budget for the spending categories for the month, and then I include the spending categories, and then anything after that is considered unbudgeted, and then I write down what those unbudgeted are. They don't get budgeted in, so this would be 0 here if it's just a random item that popped up, but I know I have enough left over to pay for it in the budget, so I take it out here in the actual column, and then it's just over for the total amount. So that is that. Now this is the 2-page budget. You get this in one listing, and you get this single page in one listing. So these are you get all 3 sheets, and you get all 3 sizes, 8.5 by 11, classic happy planner, and A5 with the cut lines, so you can cut them to the size you want. Just print it at 100% off your printer. And this is the single page. So you just get this income section here, and then what you budgeted, what the actual was, and then this many bills and expenses. I think it's about 20 or so. So that is just the single page. So that is the listing, and you get all 3 of these sheets and all 3 of the sizes. So I think they turned out gorgeous. I am so in love with this pattern. But that's the one I use all the time. And then I always use, and that's my monthly, I use those budget sheets for the monthly, but these are the paycheck to paycheck. They're very similar. In fact, they're the exact same as the monthly, except for it is meant to be focused only for the paycheck period that you're working in. So if you get paid every other Friday, so every 2 weeks or whatever, this should last you for the 2 weeks. You put your bills that are going to fall under that paycheck period, whether it's in January or a few days into December going into January, or whether it's January going into February. It doesn't really matter the month, which is why I didn't put the month on any of the other budget sheets, only on the calendar. You can write a date in the corner somewhere to remind you, okay, this started, in December and is going to end, a few days into January, or this is towards the end of January, and then, however you want to organize your paychecks, that's fine. I like using the monthly patterns to keep my interest in coming back, but it doesn't matter if it falls on that month or not. You can use it any month of the year, and it is fine. So you put your bills, and then you put your spending categories, expenses. Spending categories are the same as cash envelopes. You can track that here, your cash envelopes here. You have a grocery cash envelope, you have gas cash envelope, any of those kinds of things, you can track that here as well. And then print out another calendar. If you have the calendar, print out another calendar and do, track each day on the calendar, or just use one for your bills and your spending on one calendar. I mean, the possibilities are endless on using budget sheets, on how and what is best for you and your budget, depending on how many people in your family, how many transactions there are, but it gives you clarity and peace of mind of where your money's going. And that is the weight that is taken off our shoulders. So I absolutely love using budget sheets, and that's why I love sharing these. And then I have them labeled paycheck 1, paycheck 2, paycheck 3, and then paycheck 4 and paycheck 5. Typically, I think 1 through 5 is what would be in a month at the most. You don't have to print all of them. If you only get 4 checks that month, then, you know, paycheck periods, and print off 4. If you're working with 5, then do the 5. And if you have more than that, or if you want to design it differently, you can just put a sticker over the number and, you know, call it a day, or let me know and email me. All my budget sheets are customizable. I can put in the text right here if you want, like, the company you work for, their name, or whatever you want to put there. So we can add company names or bills, like the names of your bills or whatever you call your bills and your spending categories, and we can put them in these little different sections here, and then you can fill out just that budget. And especially if they're very routine and the same every month, then you can do that there. And I can always set up a budget sheet like that. You just tell me which budget sheet, find the custom listing, and email me the rest of the information, and I could definitely do that. I've done that for sinking funds before, and somebody had, I think 63 sinking funds they were separating. And I'm like, okay. So I just typed it all in for her, and she loved it, and it was awesome. So if you need one customized, or you just want to say paycheck and nothing else, or if you don't want a title and you just want that there and you want to do a sticker combo, that's fine too. I mean, you never know, because, you know, I am trying to bring stickers to my shop. Hopefully in a couple weeks or less, I will have stickers in my shop. And when I do, I will do another one of these new releases. So here we go. That's paycheck to paycheck budgeting. One of my favorite ways to budget. Weekly check-in is the next. Now, I use a weekly check-in in combination with a calendar. So the calendar, I track the expenses on what day, and then the weekly check-in is where I put the budget. So I do a 2-page weekly check-in. I am going to try to come up with a way to make it a 5-week on 1 page, but I haven't quite gotten the time to do that yet. This is what I'm selling for right now. Again, just like paycheck to paycheck, calendar, and all the budget sheets, they all come in the 3 sizes. So you get 3 PDFs, and each PDF will have 2 pages. You get the 8.5 by 11, the A5, and the Classic Happy Planner. And those all have the cut lines, so you know where to cut to make those sizes. Let's see here. So week 1, 2, 3, and 4, you get 5 categories and a totals line. I budget specifically how much I'm going to spend that week. I don't budget for the entire month and then break it down. How much do I have left by the end of the week? I budget how much I need for the week and what I spend and what the balance is. Then I balance forward to week to the end of the month. And there, hopefully by the end of the month, I still have money left over. Not a lot of money, but some money. And this is a good way if you're really trying to find a way to save. You can make it a challenge, weekly check-in savings budget, or savings challenge or something like that. So every week when you do your check-in, whatever your balance left over is, if you want to bring it back to 0, you can do that and put that money into savings and then start with your new budget. Same thing all the way across. Now, if you want to start with your entire budget at the beginning of the month, you can do that. And just what you spent, what the balance is, and you just carry it over all the way through. And that works as well. Now, over here, I have, just because I had so much room on this page, I made it a notes page, and I actually break down each week. Week 1, week 2, week 3, 4, and 5. Some months I don't use week 5, some months I do, but I do break it down on what I plan to spend and how much I need at the beginning of the month, which I need more money at the beginning and less towards the end, just by my spending habits. And I make sure it's all planned out, and I have it planned out for my categories. So that is my weekly check-in. Again, 3 different sizes. Classic Happy Planner and A5 have cut lines and they're smaller on the page. It's the same sheet of paper. You don't change your paper. You just cut it down to trim. And this 8.5 by 11. So this is what I'll be using in my planner in January. Well, actually, I won't be using this in January. I just realized. I will be using stickers in a monthly planner because I'm adding stickers to my shop, and I have an Erin Condren monthly planner, and I'll be doing it in there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. If you're interested in these sheets and would like me to give these away, let me know in the comments below. Let's see here. I only have 1 set of sheets, and I'm only going to give them away as 1 whole set. So everything you see here today, if you're interested. And usually people know, I haven't had anybody really take me up on that offer, but I would love for somebody to, and I would love to mail it to you, and no charge. I would just send these actual sheets you're seeing and have you use them and test them out for your own budget. So here's the transaction log. You get 3 sizes, 1 budget sheet, and you can use it for anything. If you want to do it with your sinking funds and you want to keep track of your transactions, you have your date, your amount, your description, and your balance, and how you go forward from there. Or you can use it with anything that you're doing a lot of spending on and you need to track. And you can separate it in different categories. You can do grocery, household, or groceries and household. You can separate restaurants, miscellaneous, gasoline. Those are my main categories that I spend out of, and how I compartmentalize what my spending is. So there's that. So I do use transaction logs. Even though I track my weekly check-in on a calendar, I really pay attention to the transaction logs because that's where I see the balances. I don't wait to the end of the week to know what the balances are. And I could probably show you really quick. My transaction logs actually have titles that are different, so I customize my own, but I'll just show you really quick sneak peek. Let's see if I can find where I'm at. So this is my grocery household. Same budget sheet. All I did was change the title. And this is December's budget, and then I write what I budgeted amount, and then I just reduce it down like a check register. I just know how much money I have left in that account. Same as a cash envelope. This is just how I do it, pen and paper. I prefer not to use cash. But this is how I budget my cash. So I actually prefer this over the calendar, but I like having the calendar so I can do the check off of what I spent for the weekly check-in videos. So I do both because I love budgeting so much. I know, I'm a geek. It's all right. I'll be fine. So category, beginning, how much you added, how much you took out, and what the ending balance was. Just a simple log. This is my actual bestseller in my shop. Not so much in the designs, but in my plain sinking funds budget, plain budget sheets. This is the favorite. And this is also the favorite in the designs because I have a group of people that just want to buy the plain one and not have to change every month. Then I have a group of people that really love the different designs every month. And so this sinking funds, and then the next one that is very popular is the savings tracker. A lot of people buy these together. There's 2 separate listings for this. This is one listing. This is a separate listing. You get the date, the beginning, how much you added, and how much you subtracted in the ending. But they work very well together. And I actually track in these myself for my sinking funds and then savings. And this is where I like keep my emergency fund and some other personal savings for, like, if we're having work done on the house and stuff like that. I like to track that over here. And then sinking funds are like annual expenses for me that pop up once a year, and they just really need to be taken care of. But they're the ones we forget all the time. So in fact, I forgot another one and I forgot to write it down, and that popped up. And luckily we had the $34 or whatever it was. You'll see it in my next budget check-in. And I'm going to have to add that to my sinking funds. But that's okay. It is what it is. So this is one listing in 3 different sizes. And then this is another listing in 3 different sizes. Now, I do have available in Savings Tracker, if this is too many lines and this is not how you track your savings. There we go. Savings Tracker, and they're compartmentalized in these boxes and categories. So you can name them, what you're saving, and what the starting balance is, how much you added, how much, how much you took out, and the ending balance. All of those things. You can separate your spending in these and just focus on that one category. Now, what it doesn't show you on this is you would have to take all those balances and total up if these are savings that are all in one savings account. So you would have to do that separately, which is why I like the other the savings tracker log over this. But a lot of people do like this because they really want to see it a little more compartmentalized, and this works better for them. So I love it. I think it's great, and that is the other savings tracker. I also have, most important for most people, a debt tracker. So I actually have two of them. This is one listing. This is a debt snowball tracker that I have. And then this is just called a debt tracker. They're pretty much the same, but I have, let me just pull this one out just for a second. Here we go. So this debt tracker, you list the name of your debt. So let's say you have a car loan, you have a mortgage, you have a personal loan, and 2 or 3 credit cards. So you would list them all out here. Or if you do have like school loans, and they're like per semester, and you got like 50 of them or whatever, however many they break out to be, depending on where you are in your debt payoff journey, you can list them and break them down individually and do that. Some people do that a lot. I've seen that a lot. I actually was able to pay off my school loans in 2020. October 30th of 2020. I was so excited. I have a video for that if you want to check that out, where I paid off my debt and made the last school loan payment, which was the last debt payment. And officially, I am currently consumer debt free. I'm not mortgage debt free, but I am consumer debt free, which means I have no credit card debt. I do have a credit card, but I pay it off, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I have no loans. I have no car loans. I have no school loans. I have no loans, period. So debt tracker, you have your debt, your starting balance of your debt for the month, how much you paid on that, on the different debts. So if it was just the minimum amount, and then, or if you paid more than a minimum, you can put that there. And then your interest, whatever is charged by interest, and then what the new ending balance is, which will be your new beginning balance going into the next month. Now, why is this important when you get a statement? Because it's already written down on the statement for you. But because we don't focus on those things a lot of times, or we don't want to look at it, having people write it out, what your debt is, what the balances are, and really allowing yourself to see the truth of what's going on in debt and how it's holding you back, this could change your life. This could change everything. That kinetic energy of just writing it out and eye-hand coordination and committing to memory, this can change. Doing that activity can change everything, because then all of a sudden money looks different to you, and what your priorities will change, especially if you're still spending a lot of money here or there and you're trying to get it under control. So I loved doing this when I was doing my debt journey, and it really kept me in check. And it was nice when I was able to do a debt snowball and put that money towards the extra payment. So debt snowball tracker, it's pretty much like a debt tracker, just like this. And like the savings tracker, this is just another way of putting your debt, naming your debt, starting your balance, minimum payment you paid, amount you actually paid if you paid more, interest charge, and ending balance. This way you can kind of compartmentalize your debt a little bit differently. And this, unlike savings, you don't have to total it up, because these are different accounts. So this is looking at different accounts, all your accounts at once almost. And sometimes this is an easier way to look at it than with all these lines, because most people don't have this many debts, but they still prefer this kind of page. some people are like, well, no, I only need this. And so this is what they prefer. So both work very well. They all come in all 3 sizes. They're all digital downloadable printables. Like I said, you can put it in GoodNotes or any of those PDFs that you can writable and put the numbers in and do it yourself and take it with you wherever. So there is that. So next and last, well, not last, but next to last is my favorite. Because I do use a credit card, I can't live without this. I will not, I will, as long as I'm using a credit card, I will always use this log. Why do I say that? Because it's one thing to look at the balance, and I notice when I look at the balance of my credit card, when I wasn't focused on paying it off, and my credit card available credit goes up to $24,000, which is very high, and I don't like it that high, but it keeps our credit score at a good level and all the good things for loans and mortgages and all, and car loans and stuff like that, to have the best deal on a lowest interest rate. So what I do is I put some bills on here, like subscriptions to Roku, where we purchase like Disney Plus, where we purchase Sling, where we purchase all these different things. And when we purchase them for monthly subscriptions, we put them on our credit card, and then it just comes out on our credit card. And then I pay that bill at the end of the month, because around the 24th is when the bill is due. Now, I do put other things, like I did all my Christmas shopping on the credit card, and then I took the money from our savings sinking fund, Christmas sinking fund, and then any cash that was sent by family, and then our cash, combined it all together, and then paid the credit card off. So that was pretty good. But I will never use a credit card without using a credit card log, ever. And we only have the one that we use regularly. That's it. Now, we do have an AMCO card because next door to where we live is an AMCO. And if we ever need maintenance or something major with our vehicle, we can always drop it off there and use this card and use that card in order to take care of what we need to for our vehicles. Since they are paid off, we do baby them quite a bit. But the credit card log is for the one credit card account. And this is how I know how to keep the payment taken care of and it paid off every month. Now, some months I struggle a little bit and I go a little too far with it. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. But from time to time, but for the most part, yeah, it's paid off every month. And this is how we stay consumer debt free. And this is why I use it, because I can write the date, I can write the amount. And when I'm always starting, I put the first of the month, because I always start fresh on the first of the month. The amount, I always start with 0, and then description is balance or available credit, and then what I owe is 0, and then available credit is 24,000 here. And then the first charge comes out, and I put the amount, the date that the first charge of whatever bill it is, iTunes or whatever, and then I put $2.99, you know, that reoccurring charge for storage. And you put iTunes, and you owe $2.99, but you reduce your available credit to 23,000 and whatever the difference is, and subtract it. So when you handwrite that out, it just makes a difference. It sticks in your brain. It makes you feel different about the money coming in and out of your account. It's my way of making it painful so that I don't get back into debt, because I carried a high 23, almost 24. I had enough of the credit card payoff that I could pay the monthly payment and pay and only have like up to $1,000 available credit by the end of the year. And then emergency would happen, I would spend it, and then it would start all over again. And I did that for 14 years with this credit card, and I just never again. Never again. So there's that. Now, I do also sell digital cash envelopes that you can cut and print for yourself. And these are the designs. I love the designs. They're based on the pattern that I used for the digital printables for the budget sheets. That's what I'm trying to say. So here is the first one. Now, I usually, when I buy patterns for these budget sheets, I buy a set. So when I do these, cash envelopes, I use that set and make a series of 6 cash envelopes, and you just cut on the gray line on the outside, and then you fold the flaps in and tape it or glue it or whatever works for you. Find what paper you're comfortable with printing on and creating these. If you have a laminator, you can laminate. The only issue with a laminator is you can't, I don't know how to do the flap, so you can actually cut this part off and fold the rest of it in and just do a regular cash envelope. It is fairly big. I don't have any with me. I haven't, since I moved everything into the closet across the house for the painter, I haven't gone back and pulled everything out, so I don't have any with me right now. But the design is gorgeous. This is just a more close-up design of what that is. Here's another one, very similar design. It's got the blue background instead of the white background, but all the same elements. It's very pretty. I really like it. Make these cash envelopes, and then I also did this. I thought that was really cool. A very winter, flowery winter kind of look to it. And here's the stars and glitter, which I thought was really nice. And then snowflakes inside. And then this plaid pattern, which was neat with the gold. I like that one as well. And then this tree pattern, which was really neat. Definitely winter, definitely January. It reminded me of January, so I really like that. You get also with the cash envelopes when you print them out, obviously they're only one size. You could shrink them to fit whatever size you want if you choose to. But you have 2 pages of digital pages of these logs for your cash envelopes, and use those to trackers, I should say, and then cash teller slips. So this is the other page, and when you cut them out, they just fit right in the envelopes. So that is that. I am super excited. Put this one back on top because it's the prettiest to me. There you go. So cash envelopes and budget sheets. I'll get those just 1 second. Okay, so that is everything. I don't have all the budget sheets here, but I got as many as I could. Most of the popular ones: sinking fund, savings tracker, debt tracker, calendar, monthly budget, paycheck to paycheck, and weekly check-in, the cash envelope, and the teller slips that I've already got pre-cut here. And I think it turned out really, really cute. I love how it looks. So this is my new releases video. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you next time. Have an amazing and blessed day, and I am so excited that you are here and with us in this channel. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.